Hello children, this is the next video on tissues. We have done meristematic plant tissues and today we will deal with permanent plant tissues. Permanent plant tissues. So first we should know what is the difference between meristematic and permanent plant tissues. Permanent tissues, they are derived from meristematic only. Meristematic, all of you know, they are the dividing cells. When the cell divides and forms two new cells, these cells later they change their size, their shape and their function. They adopt a particular function to do in the life of plant. So when the size, shape and a function, the cell are doing a specific function, it is changed, then the meristematic cell, it forms the permanent cell. And this process is known as differentiation. Differentiation. That is, by differentiation, by the process of differentiation, a meristematic cell, it forms a permanent cell. The size is changed, the shape is changed, and these cells, they do a particular function. And if they are present in groups, then these groups form a tissue which is responsible for a specific job in the life of living organism. In this way, permanent tissues are formed in plants. One thing, students, if you want to comment or want to ask anything, you can write me in the comment section. Or you can, if any query, any difficulty, anything is there, you can write me. I will reply your questions or queries. Or if you want to comment, then you can also comment in the comment box of the video. So this is how permanent tissues are formed in plants. Now these permanent tissues, they are categorized into three main categories. First is simple permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue. Second is protective permanent tissue. And third is complex permanent tissue. So we will study three types of permanent tissue: simple, protective and complex. So first of all, we will study the simple one. Simple, as the name indicates, all the cells of this tissue, they are of same type. All the cells together of the same size and same shape and same type, they form a tissue which is a simple tissue. Now this simple tissue is again classified into 3-4 types. First is parenchyma. The first type of simple tissue is parenchyma. This is the most simple one, derived from the meristematic cells, and the name, if the Greek word, there are two Greek words, paren and chyma. Paren means besides and chyma means in filling. So in the plant body, these are present beside the epidermis and they form the packing material of the plant body. So parenchyma is the simplest. What is there? These are the cells of parenchyma, and this is cell of parenchyma in LS. This is cells of parenchyma in transverse section. This is in longitudinal section. So what is their characteristic features? First is cells are living. These have living cells. So the first point of parenchymatous cells is that they are living cells. Second, they form the packing in the plant. Cells are almost oval or round in shape, and second important characteristic is they are thin walled. The wall is thin. Third is they have a vacuole which stores food. So their function is they form the packing material, they support the plant body, and they store nutrient and other metabolites in their vacuole. So this is parenchyma. In longitudinal section you can see vacuole here, and this is the cytoplasm. One more thing, these are the intercellular spaces. One is inter, one is intra. Inter means in between two cells, intra means within the cell. So these are intercellular spaces. That is, these cells have quite big and many in number intercellular spaces. So the tissue is lighter and it absorbs shock and it supports the plant body and store the food and form the packing material. So this is about parenchyma. This is simple parenchyma. Parenchyma can also be three types. What are these types? One is simple, as we have just seen. This is the simple one. Second parenchyma is known as chlorenchyma. The word, it is from the word chlor. Chlor, it is for chlorophyll. Chlorenchyma, it means this type of parenchymatous tissue, it has some chloroplast within its cell. Suppose this is a cell of parenchyma, so some chloroplast. Chloroplast, this is an organelle found in the plants. You know this. So chloroplast having chlorophyll, they are also present within the cell. That's why it is known as chlorenchyma. And if parenchyma has chloroplast, it can photosynthesize. It helps in the photosynthesis and food is formed by this chlorenchymatous parenchyma. So this is the second type. The third type is known as aerenchyma. What is aerenchyma? This is derived from the word air. So this parenchyma, known as aerenchyma, it has spaces or cavities, air cavities within the tissue. This is found in aquatic plants like lotus, Eichhornia, many. So what happens, suppose we cut the section of lotus plant, what we will see, this is the parenchymatous tissue, and in between the parenchymatous tissue, these air cavities are there. These are air cavities, and due to the presence of these cavities, air is filled in it and it forms the plant light in weight. Buoyancy is there. The plant becomes buoyant and it can float on the surface of water. So in aquatic plants, parenchyma, it changes to aerenchyma. So these are three types of parenchymatous tissue, which is a simple tissue in plants. Now we are coming to second permanent tissue. The second permanent tissue is known as collenchyma. Collenchyma. So, the second is collenchyma. Again, the meaning of the word colon is glue. So, what does it mean? Where is the glue? The colon, these are the cells of collenchyma. It is in TS and it is in LS. So, this tissue, collenchyma, it forms the hypodermis of the plant stem and root. What is hypodermis? Hypo means below. Below the dermis or below the epidermis, the tissue which is present below the epidermis is known as hypodermis, and this hypodermis, it is formed by these collenchymatous cells. Suppose this is the epidermis of the stem, then below this epidermis, these cells of collenchyma, 2, 3, 4 layers of collenchyma, they are present, and this forms the hypodermis. So, why the glue word is coming? This collenchyma, it gives flexibility to the plant. It is present in the stalks of leaves, young stems. What does it mean? By flexible, we mean that we can turn or we can bend the stalk and young stems without breaking it. So, this gives flexibility to the stalk and young stem. It can be bent without breaking. Once if we break the stalk or young stem, then a glue-like substance, it appears, and it is due to this collenchyma. That's why it's known as collenchyma. In Greek, colon means glue. What is the specialty of these cells? They are different from this, and they emerged or they are derived from the simple parenchyma. Here the cells are elongated than this one. These are oval. These are some elongated cells are there. And second thing, the lumen or the cavity of this cell, it is smaller than this, because the cell walls, they are thickened, and they are thickened in the corners. These red area, this is the thickening of the cell wall. At corners, they thicken and they give mechanical strength to the plant. Flexibility as well as mechanical strength. They are also living cells. In LS, we can see these thickenings here at the corners of the cell. This is the nucleus, this is the cytoplasm. The lumen, this vacuole is also smaller than this, because the cell wall, it has some depositions due to which it gives strength to the plant. So this is the second permanent tissue. The third permanent tissue is sclerenchyma. The third is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, it gives mechanical support to the plant. Sclerenchyma. It is sclerenchyma. It gives mechanical support to the plant. These are the cells of sclerenchyma. These are dead cells. These two are living cells and these are dead cells. Why they are dead? Because in the cell wall of these tissue, these cells, a chemical known as lignin. Lignin is deposited, and this lignin is somewhat cement-like, and it gives the strength. The plant becomes tough, stiff, and due to this lignin, the cells, they become stiff and tough. Their wall, it becomes thick with lignin deposition. Due to this lignin, the cavity inside the cell, it is very, very thin, and these cells become dead. This is TS again, and this is LS. In TS, you can see this is the shape of the cell. This is the middle lamella. This is cell wall of this cell. This is the cell wall of this cell. What happens? You can see these openings. What are these openings? These are known as paired pits. What are paired pits? As the walls are thickened with lignin, they are impermeable to anything. So these pits in pairs, one in this cell, the other in this cell, in pairs, these pits are present which are opening in the cell wall. Through these pits, the substance from one cell can go to the other, or transfer of substance can take place through these pits. So this is sclerenchyma, and it is mostly present outside the vascular bundles. So this is sclerenchyma, the third type of permanent tissue, simple permanent. Now we come to the second type of permanent tissue, that is protective permanent tissue. Protective means which protect? What protect? To protect the plant body. So this protective tissue, it presents all over the plant body as a outer covering. So the protective tissue, it can again be studied under two heads. One is epidermis and other is, so we will study protective permanent plant tissue. It can be studied under two heads. Epidermis. Epi means above, so on the outer side, and second is cork. So first epidermis. What is epidermis? Epidermis protects whole of the plant body. The outer covering of whole of the body is epidermis. So the plant body, it is covered by epidermis. This is the diagram of epidermis, and you can see the cells, mainly they are flattened like the brick. Single layered thick, mostly the epidermis is single layered thick. The cells are flattened, and you can see there is no intercellular spaces. All are joined one after the other like a chain. There is no intercellular space like this in epidermis. This is one thing. The other is the outer wall. It is thickened than the inner wall. This is the inner wall. It is thin in comparison to the outer wall. A waxy secretion is secreted by these cells, and it is deposited outside the epidermis. This secretion is known as cuticle. So a layer of cuticle is formed outside the epidermal cells. This cuticle, it has three functions to do. The first function is protection. It protects the plant body from mechanical injuries. So mechanical injuries, it is being protected by epidermis. Second, it helps in loss of water. When this wax covering is there, so the water, it cannot be loosed by the epidermis. This impaired the loss of water from epidermis. And third, the most important is, it inhibits the invasion by fungi. The fungi which are harmful for plant body, it may be pathogenic. So this fungi cannot enter the plant body as due to the presence of this cuticle, and due to the absence of intercellular spaces. So this epidermis, it has three functions to do. Now, if this is leaf, all of you know, on both the side, this leaf is covered by epidermis, this single layered cell, and it is seen that on both the sides, more on the lower side, these holes, they are present in on the leaf surface. These holes, they are known as stomata. You know this, and these stomata are for gaseous exchange. So this is epidermis, these two are stomata. These, and this is in the surface view, this is in TS. In transverse section, the epidermis looks like it, and in the surface view, or if whole amount of leaf peeling is done, then we can see the stomata on the surface of the leaf like this. These are epidermal cells, and this is a single stoma. In plural, known as stomata, singular is stomata. Now, what is the structure? It is surrounded by two bean-shaped or kidney-shaped cells. These cells, they are known as guard cells. These cells have nucleus like the normal cell, cytoplasm, and also chloroplast. The chloroplast organelles, they are present in guard cells, so they help in photosynthesis. And one thing more, the inner cell wall of these guard cells, it is thicker than the cell wall of outer side. The outer cell wall is thinner. This cell wall is thinner than the inner cell wall, and this helps in opening and closing of stomata, which we will study later on. So this is stomata. It has two main functions to do. One, exchange of gases. The gases, carbon dioxide and oxygen, they are exchanged through stomata for photosynthesis and for respiration in plants. So this is one important function, and the second most important function is transpiration. Transpiration is loss of water vapor from the stomata. So water which is present inside the leaf, it comes out, the excess water, it comes out in the form of vapor from these stomata. So in this way, stomata help in nutrition as photosynthesis, then transpiration for exchange of gases, and for transpiration as they help in evaporation of water in the form of water vapor. So this is the function of stomata, and these stomata are present on the surface of the leaf and even young stems as holes. So this is the epidermis of stem and leaves. Now what about roots? In roots also epidermis is present. All the tissues are present in roots also. So one thing about the epidermis of root. This I have drawn two cells of epidermis of root. What happens in root? This epidermal cell, it gives a projection, a finger-like projection, and this projection is nothing than root hair. This is root hair. So what does it do? The cells, the roots, all of you know, it helps in absorbing water and minerals from the soil. So these root hair, they increase the surface area of root for more absorption. So the epidermal cells, they help in absorption of minerals and waters from the roots. So this is about epidermis. One more important thing about the epidermis of desert plants. All of you know, in deserts, there is scarcity of water. And from plants, transpiration is a continuous process. Now you know what is transpiration? That's why it is known as necessary evil. Whether water is there or not, but transpiration will take place from the leaf, from the stomata, from the young stem. So the desert plants, though they innovate a unique technique. What? A layer of waxy covering, it is present, it is being secreted in desert plant on the epidermis, and it is covered by a chemical known as cutin, C-U-T-I-N, cutin. What this cutin do? It is a wax-like substance and it is impervious to water and gases. So, water cannot go out from the epidermal cell through this cutin. So, this is how in desert plant the water evaporation is checked. The second thing in desert plant is there are sunken stomata. Stomata, they are present in a sunken pit on the leaves. These are sunken stomata, and in this pit there are hairs. So these hairs, they obstruct the evaporation of water from these stomata. And as these stomata, they are not in direct contact of atmosphere, less evaporation is there. So these are sunken stomata in the epidermis, and a cutin is secreted which prevents the loss of water in desert plants. So this is about the protective covering epidermis. Now what is left? Cork. The second protection is by cork tissue. Now what is cork? In mature plants, the plants which are of certain age, what happens? Below this epidermis, now we are studying what is cork and how it is formed. So, in mature plants, suppose this is line epidermal cell. Below this epidermal cell, a layer of meristematic tissue is developed. This is meristematic tissue. As it is developed later in the life of the plant, that's why it is known as secondary meristematic tissue. This is secondary meristematic tissue. You have learned about this yesterday also when we were doing meristematic tissue. So this is secondary meristematic tissue, and it cut these cells of same type without intercellular spaces on its outer side and on inner side also. These cells which are cut by secondary meristem, they are the cork cells, or it is also known as phloem. Cork is also known as, I think it is also known as phloem. What happens when few rows of phloem are developed? Then this epidermis, it wither off, it disintegrated, the cells are burst open, they are disintegrated, withered away, and these few layers of cork cell, they are formed. This cork has a special chemical known as suberin. Inside the cork cells, this suberin is present, and this suberin is somewhat light. You must have seen cork as the lid of the bottles. So, and these cork cells, they are dead cells. They don't have any cytoplasm or nucleus. Once they are formed, they become dead because they are deposited with suberin. This suberin is somewhat wax-like or some chemical-like substance which is impervious to water. So from water, the stem or roots, they are protected by this cork having suberin. And sometimes this secondary meristems, it is also known as phalloderm. Why? Because it forms phallum. Later on, cells from here, the hypodermal cortical cells and also the secondary phloem, all of them unite to form bark. So in old trees, we can see bark. Bark is nothing but cork cells plus the cells of lower region, including the secondary phloem. So cork, it is also a protective covering on the old trees or plants. In this way, this is a permanent tissue, simple permanent and protective permanent tissue. In the next video, we will do the complex permanent tissue, which is xylem and phloem. This is all for today. You can ask me your queries and can write in comment box, can subscribe the channel. So this is all. Thank you. Take care.